You sit at a narrow desk under cold fluorescent light, staring at numbers that don't belong to you. Your title is Junior Banking Associate, but the title doesn't matter. You process transactions, verify entries, follow procedures that were written long before you arrived. No one asks what you think. They only check if you made a mistake. Across the room, someone gets called into an office and doesn't come back. You don't ask why. You just correct your screen and keep working, already aware that staying here too long will cost you something you can't yet define. You learn quickly that rank 1, Junior Associate, is not about understanding money. It's about proving you can be controlled around it. Your responsibility is accuracy. Your power is non-existent. Your environment is shared, crowded, filled with quiet pressure and constant observation. Every action is monitored, every delay noticed. The psychological cost is subtle at first. You stop questioning instructions. You stop thinking beyond the task. You begin to replace judgment with compliance. Eventually, your consistency is noticed. Not praised, just recorded. You're moved upward without ceremony. You enter rank 2, Financial Analyst. The desks are spaced further apart now. The lighting is softer, but the screens are larger, filled with models instead of entries. You're no longer just processing money. You're interpreting it. Your responsibility is to analyze portfolios, identify patterns, and support decisions you don't make. Your power increases slightly. Your words start to influence outcomes, but only indirectly. Here, you learn that numbers are not neutral. They can be framed, adjusted, emphasized. You notice how two analysts can present the same data and create different conclusions. No one corrects this. It's expected. The system doesn't reward accuracy alone. It rewards usefulness. The psychological cost deepens. You begin to separate what is true from what is effective. You stop asking which one matters more. Your first recommendation gets approved. It benefits the firm. A client loses money, but that isn't discussed. You feel something shift, but you don't resist it. You move forward. You advance to rank 3, Portfolio Manager. You now sit behind a glass wall, no longer in the open floor. You manage assets directly. Clients know your name, but only in the context of their returns. Your responsibility is control. You allocate capital, adjust strategies, and make decisions that carry immediate consequences. Your power is now visible. You can move money, influence growth, and determine outcomes for people you will never meet. The environment is quieter. Fewer voices, more screens, controlled meetings. You're given autonomy, but also expectation. Performance is no longer measured in tasks. It's measured in impact. The psychological cost becomes harder to ignore. You begin to notice that success and harm are often linked. A gain in one place creates a loss in another. You are aware of this, but you continue. Not because you agree with it, but because the system doesn't function any other way. You adapt. You reduce the situation to numbers. It becomes easier that way. Your results improve. You are promoted again. Rank 4. Senior Manager places you in a private office. The walls are clean, the desk minimal. Meetings replace most of your screen time. Your responsibility expands to overseeing multiple portfolios and guiding those below you. You are no longer just making decisions. You are shaping how others make them. Your power grows through delegation. You influence not just outcomes but processes. You begin to understand internal politics. Which decisions are supported, which are ignored, which are quietly reversed. You learn that authority is not always visible. Some of it operates behind alignment, not instruction. The environment reflects this shift. Less noise, more silence. Conversations are shorter, more precise. You start to notice distance for your approval before acting. The psychological cost is isolation. You trust fewer people. You share less information. You realize that transparency reduces control. You begin to hold back even when it isn't necessary. Sleep becomes inconsistent. You think in projections, not in moments. You continue upward. Rank 5 Director. You now operate in controlled rooms with limited access. Your responsibility is no longer limited to portfolios. You oversee divisions. You influence large-scale financial strategies. Your decisions affect entire sectors of the system. Your power is significant. You don't just move capital. You redirect it. Markets respond, sometimes subtly, sometimes immediately. You are briefed regularly. Information comes to you filtered, condensed, shaped for action. The environment becomes more controlled. Meetings happen behind closed doors. Conversations are recorded or not spoken at all. You begin to notice how much is left unsaid. Silence becomes a form of communication. The psychological cost intensifies. You detach further from outcomes. Not because you want to, but because you need to maintain function. If you considered every consequence fully, you would hesitate. Hesitation is not tolerated here. You stop thinking in terms of individuals. You think in terms of flows, capital in, capital out, movement, efficiency, optimization. It becomes automatic. You reach rank 6, executive. The office changes again. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the city, but you rarely look outside. Your responsibility is systemic. You are involved in decisions that shape entire financial structures. Your influence extends beyond the institution. Your power is now abstract. You don't execute actions directly. You authorize them. Others implement your decisions, often without fully understanding them. You don't explain unless necessary. The environment is minimal. Clean surfaces, controlled lighting, quiet rooms. There are fewer meetings, but each one carries weight. You speak less. When you do, others adjust immediately. The psychological cost is distance. You are no longer connected to the process, only the result. You begin to lose track of where decisions originate. Some feel automatic, others inevitable. You don't question this. Questioning slows the system. You notice that relationships no longer exist outside utility. Conversations are transactional, even when they appear casual. You accept this without resistance. You continue upward, though there is no formal announcement this time. You enter rank 7, controller of capital. There is no official title on the door. The room is quiet, almost empty. No assistants, no visible activity. Your responsibility is total oversight. You don't manage money. You determine where it is allowed to exist. Your power is absolute within the system. You influence institutions, not just decisions. You shape access, restrict movement, allow expansion or collapse. Most people will never know your role. They will only experience the outcomes. The environment reflects this final shift. No noise, no interruptions, no visible structure. Just screens, data, and silence. You operate without observation. The psychological cost is complete isolation. There is no one above you to confirm decisions. No one beside you to share them with. You no longer receive feedback. Only results. You begin to realize that control has replaced understanding. You no longer need to know why money moves. You decide that it does. The distinction fades. At this level, perception becomes more important than reality. Markets respond to signals, not truths. You shape those signals. You understand that stability is maintained not by accuracy, but by controlled belief. You sit in the quiet room, watching numbers shift in response to actions no one can trace back to you. There is no pressure now. No urgency. Only continuity. You think back to the desk under fluorescent light, but it feels distant, almost irrelevant. That version of you followed instructions. This version creates them. There is no satisfaction in this realization. Only recognition. You no longer operate inside the system. You are the system,